10 Good Short Moral Stories to Learn English. Video number 1. First story, The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Once upon a time, a youngster felt bored while watching the community sheep graze on the hillside. To amuse himself, he sang, "Wolf, wolf, the wolf is after the sheep." When the people heard the cries, they raced up the hill to chase the wolf away. When they arrived, however, they found no wolf. When he saw their angry expressions, he laughed. "Don't scream wolf, boy," the people advised, "when there is no wolf." They stormed back down the hill, furious. Later, the shepherd boy yelled again, "Wolf, wolf, the wolf is after the sheep." He watched with delight as the locals ran up the hill to scare the wolf away. When they discovered there was no wolf, they stated sternly, "Save your terrified cry for when there is a wolf. Don't cry wolf when there isn't one." But the youngster laughed at their remarks as they grumbled down the hill again. Later, the youngster noticed a genuine wolf stalking his sheep. He leapt to his feet, alarmed, and yelled as loudly as he could, "Wolf, wolf." The villagers, however, assumed he was playing them again and did not rush to their aid. The villagers went seeking for the youngster who hadn't returned with their sheep at dusk. When they got to the top of the hill, they discovered him sobbing. "There was a wolf right here. The flock has vanished. I yelled wolf, but you didn't come," he lamented. An elderly guy went to console the kid. "Nobody believes a liar, even when he is telling the truth," he added as he wrapped his arm around him. A moral was, lying breaks trust. Even if you're telling the truth, no one believes a liar. Number 2, The Golden Touch. Once upon a time, there reigned a king named Midas who performed a noble act for a satyr. Impressed by his kindness, Dionysus, the god of wine, decided to grant Midas a single wish. Midas, filled with anticipation, expressed his desire to possess the power of turning anything he touched into solid gold. Despite Dionysus' attempts to dissuade him, Midas insisted that this was an extraordinary wish and was granted his request. With his newfound ability, Midas eagerly began touching various objects, transforming them into shimmering golden treasures. However, his delight soon turned to despair when hunger struck him. As he reached for a piece of food, he realized that it, too, had transformed into lifeless gold within his grasp. Overwhelmed by his predicament, Midas groaned, "I will starve. Perhaps this wish was not as marvelous as I thought." Witnessing her father's anguish, Midas' beloved daughter rushed to his side, embracing him tightly in an attempt to console him. Tragically, her affectionate touch caused her own body to transform into a statue of solid gold. Overwhelmed by grief, Midas cried out, "The golden touch is no blessing at all." Immoral was, greed will always lead to downfall. Number 3, The Fox and the Grapes. Once upon a time, a famished fox embarked on a quest for nourishment. Despite his relentless search, he scoured every nook and cranny but found nothing suitable to satisfy his hunger. Just as his belly growled with increasing intensity, fate led him to a farmer's wall. At its summit, a sight greeted him that made his mouth water, a cluster of the most colossal and luscious grapes he had ever laid eyes upon. Their deep, regal purple hue signaled their ripeness, beckoning the fox to indulge in their succulent goodness. To attain the coveted grapes, the fox realized he needed to muster a considerable leap. With determination in his eyes, he soared into the air, eagerly extending his jaws to capture the tantalizing morsels. Alas, his efforts proved futile as the grapes eluded his grasp. Undeterred, he made subsequent attempts, each ending in disappointment. Repeating the cycle a few more times, the fox's spirit began to waver. Eventually, he conceded defeat and turned away, muttering under his breath, "I am certain those grapes were sour anyway." Immoral was, never despise what we can't have. Nothing comes easy. Number 4, The Proud Rose. In a distant desert, a tale unfolds about a conceited rose and a humble cactus. The rose, adorned with exquisite beauty, couldn't help but disdain her neighboring cactus for its perceived ugliness. Day after day, the rose would unleash a barrage of insults and mockery upon the cactus, who, in dignified silence, bore the weight of her hurtful words. The surrounding plants, observing this injustice, attempted to reason with the rose, but her vanity clouded her judgment. One fateful summer, scorching heat ravaged the desert, leaving the land devoid of water. The once proud rose began to wither, her once vibrant petals losing their enchanting splendor. It was then, in her desperate state, that she turned her gaze toward the cactus. To her surprise, a sparrow alighted upon the cactus and quenched its thirst by sipping water from its succulent frame. Overwhelmed by shame, the wilted rose mustered the courage to approach the cactus and humbly beseech for a drop of water. Compassionate and forgiving, the cactus readily acquiesced, offering respite to both parched souls throughout the arduous summer. In the face of adversity, the rose and the cactus discovered the transformative power of compassion and friendship as they weathered the hardships together, teaching the desert the true meaning of unity. Immoral was, never judge anyone by the way they look. Number 5, the milkmaid and her pail. Once upon a time, Molly, a diligent milkmaid, embarked on her daily task of milking the cows and venturing to the bustling market to sell the fresh milk. As she filled her pails, her mind wandered to the delightful possibilities of how she would spend her hard-earned money. With each step toward the market, Molly's thoughts danced around visions of delectable cakes and baskets brimming with juicy, sun-kissed strawberries. Her desires grew even more extravagant when she caught sight of a chicken further along the road. A glimmer of inspiration sparked within her, and she envisioned a future where owning that chicken would yield both eggs and milk, amplifying her earnings. Immersed in her daydreams, Molly's excitement overflowed, causing her to skip along merrily, forgetting about the precious milk in her pails. Unbeknownst to her, the milk spilled over, coating Molly in a creamy cascade. Regret washed over her as she observed the loss of her potential earnings. "Oh no, I have squandered my chances of acquiring a chicken now," Molly lamented, her spirits dampened. Returning home with empty pails, she faced the concerned gaze of her mother, who inquired about her misadventure. "Goodness gracious, what has befallen you?" her mother exclaimed. Drenched and disheartened, Molly confessed, "I was so consumed by my dreams of acquiring various things that I forgot to tend to the pails." Her mother, with a mixture of empathy and wisdom, offered a gentle reminder. "Oh, Molly, my dear, how often have I told you, don't count your chickens until they hatch?" Immoral was, don't count your chickens before they hatch. Number 6, a wise old owl. In the heart of an ancient oak tree resided a wise old owl, whose keen eyes surveyed the world around him. Day after day, he silently observed the unfolding incidents in his surroundings. Yesterday, he witnessed a heartwarming scene where a young boy selflessly aided an elderly man in carrying a burdensome basket. Today, his wise gaze caught sight of a young girl, caught up in a fit of anger, raising her voice at her mother. With each passing day, the owl found himself speaking less and listening more intently. As time wove its tapestry, the owl's silence granted him the gift of hearing. He caught snippets of conversations, tales shared among people. A woman's voice carried the whimsical account of an elephant gracefully leaping over a formidable fence. A man confidently proclaimed that he had never committed a single mistake. The old owl, an observer of the world's wonders and follies, internalized the stories and experiences he encountered. He comprehended the ebb and flow of human existence, the remarkable transformations some underwent and the regrettable decline of others. Throughout it all, perched in his sturdy tree, the old owl grew wiser with each passing day. In the quiet wisdom of his age, the old owl gleaned lessons from the diverse tapestry of human stories, becoming a repository of knowledge and understanding. Immoral was, be more observant, talk less and listen more. This will make us wise. Number 7, the golden egg. In a bygone era, a farmer possessed a remarkable goose that bestowed upon them a solitary golden egg each day. This wondrous gift ensured a comfortable life for the farmer and his wife, filling their hearts with contentment. However, the farmer's mind, clouded by greed, succumbed to a dangerous notion. He pondered, why settle for a single egg when we could amass great wealth by taking them all at once? Sharing his ill-conceived plan with his wife, she regrettably embraced the idea. The following day, as the goose dutifully laid its customary golden egg, the farmer seized upon it with haste. Consumed by impatience and greed, he wielded a sharp knife, abruptly ending the life of the faithful bird. In his misguided quest for immediate riches, he sliced open the goose's stomach, only to discover a gruesome scene of entrails and blood. The precious golden eggs were nowhere to be found. Reality struck the farmer with harsh clarity as remorse coursed through his veins. Grief overwhelmed him as he mourned the irreversible loss of his once bountiful resource. In the ensuing days, the farmer and his wife witnessed their fortunes dwindle steadily, descending into abject poverty. They were left to rue their misfortune, a poignant reminder of their ill-fated decisions, and the depths of their folly. Immoral was, never act before you think. Number 8, the farmer and the well. In a tranquil countryside, a diligent farmer sought to secure a water source for his precious land. Seizing an opportunity, he purchased a well from his sly neighbor. Little did the farmer know of the deceit lurking beneath the neighbor's transaction. As the sun dawned on a new day, the farmer eagerly approached the well to draw water for his farm. To his dismay, the neighbor stood before him, refusing to grant access to the life-giving resource. Perplexed, the farmer implored, "Why deny me the water from the well I purchased from you?" With a cunning smile, the neighbor retorted, "Dear farmer, I indeed sold you the well, but the water within it remains under my control. You have no right to partake in its abundance." Overwhelmed by a sense of injustice, the farmer turned to the emperor, seeking fair judgment. He narrated the troubling events, appealing for resolution. The emperor, wise and just, summoned Burble, his esteemed courtier renowned for his sharp intellect. Burble embarked upon a quest for truth, questioning the deceitful neighbor. "Why do you withhold the water from the well you sold to the farmer? It is his rightful possession." The neighbor, caught in his own web of deception, replied hesitantly, "Burble, I sold the well to the farmer, but the water within it is not part of the agreement. He has no claim to it." A glimmer of wisdom sparkled in Burble's eyes as he formulated a solution. "Listen attentively. Since you have sold the well, it follows that you relinquish any right to retain the water within. You are left with two choices: either pay rent to the farmer for its use, or promptly remove the water from his well." Realizing the futility of his scheme, the neighbor's facade crumbled. With a humbled demeanor, he offered a sincere apology and retreated to his abode, having learned a valuable lesson about the consequences of deceit. Justice prevailed, restoring harmony to the farmer's pursuit of a life-sustaining water source. The moral was, cheating will not get you anything. If you cheat, you'll pay soon enough. Number 9. Elephant and Friends. In a vast forest, a solitary elephant embarked on a quest to find companionship. Spotting a playful monkey, the elephant approached and kindly asked, "Monkey, could we be friends?" The monkey swiftly dismissed the elephant's request, responding, "I'm sorry, but you are too big to swing on trees like I do. We cannot be friends." Undeterred, the elephant continued her search, stumbling upon a rabbit. She extended her trunk and asked, "Rabbit, would you be my friend?" The rabbit observed the elephant's massive presence and replied, "Alas, you are too large to fit inside my burrow. We cannot be friends." The elephant persisted on her journey until she encountered a frog. Eagerly, she inquired, "Frog, can we be friends?" The frog considered the elephant's immense size and responded, "Regrettably, you are too big and heavy to jump like me. I'm sorry, but we cannot be friends." Throughout her quest, the elephant faced rejection from every animal she encountered. Undeterred by the discouraging responses, she pressed on, determined to find companionship. The next day, a wave of fear swept through the forest as all the animals scampered in terror. Concerned, the elephant stopped a bear to inquire about the commotion. The bear informed her that a fierce tiger was attacking the smaller creatures. Driven by her noble heart, the elephant resolved to protect her potential friends. She approached the tiger and pleaded, "Please, sir, spare my friends. Do not harm them." The tiger, indifferent to her pleas, arrogantly brushed her off, commanding her to mind her own business. Faced with no other recourse, the elephant bravely kicked the tiger, intimidating him into retreat. News of the elephant's fearless act spread throughout the forest, capturing the admiration of the other animals. They marveled at her courage and proclaimed, "You are the perfect size to be our friend." In that triumphant moment, the elephant found acceptance and companionship among the very animals that once rejected her. Her unwavering bravery had proven that true friendship transcends size and differences, uniting kindred spirits in a shared bond. The moral was, friends come in every shape and size. Number 10. When adversity knocks. A shaft burdened by frustration and weariness turned to her father seeking guidance. Compassionately, her father advised her to gather an egg, 2 tea leaves, and a potato. Curiosity piqued, Asha complied, intrigued by her father's peculiar request. Together, they assembled 3 vessels, filling each with water, which they placed upon a heated stove. As the water gradually reached its boiling point, Asha's father instructed her to carefully deposit the designated items into their respective pots, urging her to observe their reactions closely. After precisely 10 minutes had passed, he summoned Asha to peel the egg, peel the potato, and strain the leaves. Bewilderment filled her mind, yearning for clarity. In response to her unspoken confusion, her father gently elucidated. Each item was subjected to the same circumstance, the boiling water. Observe how they each responded uniquely. He continued, his voice laden with wisdom. The egg, once soft and vulnerable, now stands firm and unyielding. The potato, once rigid and unyielding, has softened and become pliable. And the tea leaves, in their transformative nature, have imbued the water itself with a profound change. Her father posed a thought-provoking question when adversity beckons. How shall we respond? Shall we emulate the egg, the potato, or the tea leaves? In that moment, Asha realized the profound lesson her father had imparted. Like the egg, she could choose to become hardened and resistant, closing herself off from growth and change. Alternatively, she could embrace the adaptability of the potato, willingly embracing transformation and newfound flexibility. And finally, she could embody the spirit of the tea leaves, bringing about positive change in her surroundings through her transformative actions. Armed with newfound insight, Asha acknowledged the power within her to choose her response to adversity. Inspired, she vowed to be neither an unyielding egg nor a stagnant potato, but rather a catalyst for positive change, like the tea leaves that infuse their essence into the world around them. The moral was, we can choose how to respond in difficult situations. If you liked our video, please like, comment, and share the video, as well as subscribe to our channel and activate the notification to receive new videos.